Alright, so this is going to be a review on the Archer 2-station intercom system from Radio Shack. This particular system was made around 1970. It's a wired intercom system. I purchased this because if you've seen my other video, then you know that my roommate and I are in separate rooms, and we were kind of looking for something that would allow both of us to communicate without us having to yell back and forth to each other. We could have just called or texted, but you know, we wanted something like this, so this is what we went with. These are very easy to come by on eBay and Etsy and on just anywhere online. I paid for this one, it was about $30. I will include a link in the bottom to where you can find some yourself if you like. But this one came with everything that it had come with in 1970. It's not in the box at the moment, but so what it would have come with is a 66-foot long cable with just regular headphone jacks on the end that are mono. This is not 66 foot long. I cut it and then reattached it back there just for this video. I'm actually going to be remodifying this device, so I won't be using this cable or these connectors, so I didn't really see any need in keeping it that way. But it'll also come with a little instruction manual. If you want to read this, you can zoom in and pause if you like. It also comes with these really handy little wire mounts. Just nail them right into the baseboard or the wall or wherever it is that you like them. And then here are the devices themselves. So they're a very simple unit. The master unit is the only one that has the battery. And then the remote has very little electronics, just enough to communicate, and so they just have little jacks on the end, and you can, since I'm going to be modifying these, not everything is mounted in here correctly, because I've kind of worked on them a little bit, but they're still functioning as they would have in the 70s. So I'm actually going to have to put this thing together here. I apologize for this. Alright, so they are connected now. I should have connected them a moment ago. I apologize for that. So very simple. When the master is in the off position, all these can do are call each other. So if I press that button, it'll call over to the other one, or this one will call over to this one. So very simple. You want to communicate. I will separate these because I don't want the reverb. But so let's say that this station calls the master. You know to answer, so then you'll roll it over, and then I'll push to talk over here, and then this one over here can hear what this one is saying. And this one over here can speak without ever having to press any buttons. So very simple. And then as soon as you turn it back off, it's back in the call setup there. The little call station button. Very simple devices. I like them a lot. If you open the back up, this is the master station. This is where all the electronics are, as well as the battery. There is where it goes out. Here's a little roller and the push button. I don't have a schematic or know anything as far as all of the electronics that are in here. It does use the speaker as the microphone. And then I'll let you look over here at this one. Oh, well, that came apart very easy. As you can see, there's the speaker, here's the button, and a little capacitor. This doesn't come in here. When I remodify it the way that I want it, it will require another battery, so this is where that particular battery is going to go. That way it separates it from the speaker there. But overall, this is a really nice little intercom system. So if you're looking for something that's relatively cheap, they do make a 4-station, if I remember correctly. There is a 4-station set of these. That one is going to be a little more expensive as you find them. But any ones that I've seen, most of them are in really nice shape and fully working order, so I would highly recommend it. Like I said, I'll include a link at the bottom to where you can find some of these if you like, but I really like them. At the end of this, so here in just a bit, at the end of this video, I will go over what I plan to do to this particular device to remodify it to fit my needs. Alright, so here is what I plan to do with this particular intercom system. And so I am going to no longer need these little two conductor wires, and I'll no longer need these attachments. I'm actually going to be using RJ12 modular jacks on these. The wire will just come out and it'll have a jack on it, because the system is going to require 5 wires. RJ12 is 6 conductors, but I won't need all of them. So what I'm going to do is on this master here, I'll leave this in there. On the master, what I'll be doing is, so it really bothers me that, you know, every time I want to listen, I just have to roll it over and find the volume that I want. I would like to preset that volume, so I'm going to be adding a on-off toggle switch right here, a mini toggle switch. That way it can be set, and I'll just throw the toggle switch and use it whenever I want to. Another nice feature that I thought about that my roommate also really likes is adding a do not disturb switch on here with a LED signal. So it's going to be a double throw, a double pole, double throw on toggle, 2 position, and I'll put this right here on both of these. And when you flip it on, one of the poles will shut off the communications through the line out of the back, and the other one will turn on an LED here. The switches will be wired in parallel, while the signals will be wired in series. And that is why this extra piece of cardboard here has been put there to help separate the battery from the speaker. The battery here will be used to power the LED signal. I'm really excited to do this. It's just something I really want to mess with, and I'll be doing that here in the next few days. So be on the lookout for this. But yeah. So let's take a look at some of these. Let's look at some of these schematics here. So hold on just a second. Okay, so this is the schematic for how I plan to set up this do not disturb signal. The intercom down here is not a very good representation of how it actually works, but I wanted to throw this in here so that you would understand. Here you have your 2 switches, so when, in this instance, whenever the switch is in this particular position, the intercom is on, but the signal is off. And when you throw it again, it cuts off communication but turns on the signal. Since each switch is wired in parallel and not wired in series, it only takes one switch to be on for the signal to work and communication to be cut. If both of them are on, then it is still off. Or the communication is off, but the signal is still on. So you have your power supply here, and this is going to be a 1.8K ohm resistor, and then 2 red LEDs. That's really about it. It's actually extremely simple. But as you can see here, just use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wires instead of the 2 that the system used already. So I'm going to be using 6 conductor telephone wire, as well as the RJ12 modular jacks on this system. So one of the wires for the 6 conductor won't be used, but I'm not really that concerned about that. So yeah, that's the setup for this. This is a pretty crude drawing that I made on paint, but I wanted to give you an idea of what this was going to look like when I was finished. So here you have your master station, and here's your remote station. There is the LED, and then you have your on DPDT toggle switches, and then here is your the one toggle switch that controls the on-off feature here. Alrighty, so there is that. So if that's something you're interested in, check back here in the next few days maybe, and I'll have a video on how I set this whole thing up, and I'm really excited to do this, so I'll see you next time.